Don't we all have our stories to tell? I think everybody has a story. The last series I have been doing prominent people, so it isn't that I haven't done them, but I started my career on doing the extraordinary in the ordinary and doing more the person who is forgotten from society and giving an insight into them.
Celebrating the women of Washington's 100 years of statehood, one must recognize the fact that Native American women were here long before the pioneers. Helma Ward's immediate descendants go back 500 years. Helma Ward's grandfather and granduncle were the last living of the Ozette tribe, so she has good reason to be totally committed to preserving her culture. Helma works at the museum and in schools, teaching her native Macaw language.
My whole persona is wrapped up with having had the wonderful opportunities I had in the media, and I think that's given me a sense of status, of well-being, and I like people to know who I am, but a lot of them don't, and that's okay too. So yeah, I rely on it a lot, still, even at the age of 97. That's the way I started, as interviewing interesting women, and I was really bad on camera. And so I decided I would get myself off that camera and get behind it. And so I went back to university to take this class, and in this class was a woman by the name of Roberta Byrd Barr.
Hello, I'm Roberta Byrd, and today we're face-to-face with Seattle police and one university student.
I produced with Roberta Byrd Barr a show that was the first, and I am proud of this, that the Columbia School of Journalism in the year 1968 said that the show that Roberta Byrd hosted and I produced was the only show in the nation to consistently cover minorities.
What kinds of things do you think ought to be happening right in the Negro community?
Do you get a feeling that the rest of the community is happy about your promotion?
They just don't want you to tear down the city. Sergeant Shriver, the right-wing white community...
We only had time to take the show once at King, and so I would do my best to get her prepared. And so Roberta and I kind of pioneered with people of color on television.
We have made color a criterion by which one judges other people. That's too bad. Why do we have to be so horrible to one another? I don't understand it.
I wanted above all else in all my productions, I always have a hidden agenda to it that I want people. I cover it up by storytelling, but at root, I hope I will change people's attitude. I'm very anti-war, and so I hope that it would change their attitude towards armament production and so forth, and also climate change. I've been very concerned about climate change.
Rainier for the Pacific Northwest is that great symbol.
It's so huge and grand, and I'm such a small person.
It just blows you away. Mount Rainier represents a resource for everybody.
I'm glad to have the opportunity just to be here.
And we want to preserve the land.
97% of the park is wilderness. Yet within the next 10, 15 years, we will be surrounded by suburbia. And the pressure of people to come and use the park 12 months a year. It's that pressure. In 1899, the foresight of folks from Tacoma and Seattle, in looking 100 years down the road, it is amazing to set this aside as a national park. I would hate to envision what this would look like now without such a designation.
I'm a cause lady. I like to work for I don't like to feel what I'm doing is just frivolous, although I've done a lot of frivolous things, thank goodness. But I so often hope in some way there will be a deeper story being told that subliminally people will get. I'd like to think that people watch my work, and because of that, they were more respectful of the environment and would not want us to get into a war.
There are 27 of us storytellers ages 9 to 15 and 15 adults that are going with us over to Soviet Union. Michelle says we're going to make friends with our storytelling. I sure hope so.
I've been thinking about this ever since I got into this. I've always wanted to be able to go to find out what the Soviet people were like, because you see so much stuff on American TV and I can just say, well, that's just a bag of baloney.
When I decided that I want to come on this trip and stuff, I decided that I wanted to come here for peace. But after a week and a half that I was here, my mom told me that their way of peace isn't the same as ours. They figure peace as communism.
There aren't that many communists in this country. It's and that's the government. I know it, but see, maybe the government's idea of peace is different, but the people's idea is the same thing as ours. Maybe our government's idea of peace is different than what we feel. How do we know? I mean, you guys are 11, I'm 13. How are we supposed to know? What do we know about our government, really?
He often goes to work before dawn.
He's head of the Emergency Trauma Center in Harborview.
He runs the ER like a military.
He works all hours, 7 days a week, sometimes
He's very
14,
demanding.
He's
15-hour
deputy
days.
director of medic. He trains all the firefighters to be paramedics.
Bring him back alive.
He's medical director of Airlift Northwest.
He started Airlift Northwest.
He teaches for the University of Washington School of Medicine.
He scares some of his students. The students really like
He
him.
has a very wry sense of humor.
I did Dr. Kopus, who was the person who really started airlift and the whole idea of with skiers. And my whole family are skiers. And so it meant a lot to me to see how they were going to be treated. And Dr. Kopus was a real challenge. One of my first questions was,
How would you describe yourself?
Short, fat, and angry.
How did your anger come out?
How my anger comes out? I have a fuse. It's, as everyone around here knows, it's 1 millimeter long and always lit. There is in medicine a need to teach people how to think about other people. And my concern is that this individual learn how to take perfect care of the down and outer as if he were the most important person in the community. Because if you can dissociate the individual from his disease, then it's his disease you're taking care of, not the individual. And the job in medicine is to take care of patients, not to judge them.
I love my wards. And I love people for people to see them. I love to hear praise. I think we all do. Everybody in the world does. And so that my awards, I just feel so grateful. The thing that makes me feel better, really good about my awards is, and this sounds so incredibly presumptuous, but are that the awards include more than the Emmys. They are the New York festivals and awards of that nature, which to me are extremely meaningful once you get out of the Emmy category, and so that I'm obnoxiously pleased about my awards. It was very helpful, and believe me, I wasn't horrified at a man if he made a pass at me. I would welcome it, and, kind of be flirtatious back again. And then, oh, geez, lady, So it was, I think it, no, actually, I benefited from being a woman. And believe me, I wasn't above playing that, saying, I mean, if they flirted with me, I'd kind of flirt back. I would never in the world go to bed with anybody or anything like that. But I certainly enjoyed and was kind of fun coming back at them and almost playing with them. My career is largely because of my marvelous husband, and I won't walk away from that one either. Yes, I am married. I was happily married. I adored my husband, and he advised me. Actually, my husband was more, although I think he found it hard for me to be so fascinated by my career, and a lot of times I ignored the kids because of it. I think but he admired the fact that I did it. I have 3 children, 2 boys and a girl, and I think I really, really neglected them miserably. And I felt very, very, very heartsick about that. But I finally realized what I was doing to my kids by not being there for them. Because I think until they're 6 or older, they really need you physically there too. And so I've always felt guilty about that. I think the conditions were right for a woman to come along and be encouraged by other people. And I think that if I had come along in my Mother's Day, for instance, when women were definitely supposed to be the nice little housewives, I could not have accomplished or been able to do what I have been able to do because of the circumstances surrounding me, my family, and I honestly feel this. I feel that so much has been given me that I am such a just amazingly lucky person that I kind of sit back and think, whoa, you are lucky.